For nearly a decade, humanity had been locked in diplomatic wrestling matches with the Vaelorians, a sleek, shimmering species of bipedal insectoid charm machines, whose biology included the rather unfair evolutionary perk of producing targeted pheromones at will. To the uninitiated, Vaelorians seemed delightful, polite, soft-spoken, and always smelling faintly of citrus blossoms after rain. To anyone with two brain cells to rub together in the Terran diplomatic corps, however, they were negotiatory nightmares. Humanity had lost every single trade deal, science exchange, border agreement, and even a friendly interstellar bake-off. The judges later confessed the Vaelorian muffins weren't even good. Kind of rubbery, one said, but the scent drifting off the alien bakers whispered vote for us directly into the human endocrine system. The galaxy's greatest power imbalance wasn't military. It was all factory. Human negotiators found themselves agreeing to ridiculous things: expanded alien access to Earth's mineral belts, permission for Vaelorians to establish research stations on the moon, and in one infamous case, a clause giving the Vaelorians free parking anywhere in Manhattan. Even the UN couldn't figure out how to walk that one back. Finally, after the 10th disastrous agreement, someone in the diplomatic corps noticed the pattern. After a few discreet medical tests, and one unfortunate intern fainting from pheromone overload, humanity realized the truth. The aliens had been huffing us into submission. Once exposed, outrage swept Earth. Committees formed, panels convened, angry commentators took to the HoloNet to rant about smell-based subjugation and aroma warfare. Eventually, a solution emerged. Use negotiators who were nose-blind. It worked beautifully until it didn't. The Vaelorians, ever adaptable, insisted that all future negotiations be conducted under traditional Vaelorian customs, meaning a sealed chamber, no ventilation, no one leaves until an agreement is signed. A typical Vaelorian meeting lasted anywhere from 2 hours to 18 days. Even nose-blind humans weren't immune forever. The pheromones accumulated into a thick aromatic soup, bypassing faulty noses by sheer persistence. By hour 6, negotiators became relaxed. By hour 10, they were pliable. By hour 12, they were ready to sell Antarctica for friendship purposes. Humanity was, once again, absolutely cooked. Enter Ambassador Declan Hughes, grizzled, exhausted, and just irritated enough to do something reckless. He leaned back in his office chair, rubbing the bridge of his nose. "We need someone immune to pheromones," he muttered. "Someone with a countermeasure, something strong enough to overwhelm the Vaelorians' own emissions." His assistant blinked. "Sir, you're not thinking chemical weapons, are you?" "No," Declan sighed. "Worse, I'm thinking about college." He pulled up an old contact entry. Harry, King of Farts Mulligan, a legend, a menace, a biological weapon, in khaki shorts. Declan made the call. Harry Mulligan managed accounting for a mid-sized plumbing supply depot and was entirely content with his quiet life, his well-loved dog, and his long-standing personal war with dairy products. So naturally, when Earth needed him, he reacted like any proper hero. "Mate, you want what now?" Declan cleared his throat. "We need your talent." "My farts, Declan? Really? You're invoking the Treaty of Dorm Room 17 for this?" "It's for the good of humanity." Harry sighed the sigh of a man who knew destiny had finally come to collect. "Fine, but I'll need prep time. And beans, a lot of beans. Also probably a bucket." The negotiation chamber. Day 0. The Vaelorians stood poised and pristine, tall, elegant, shimmering with iridescent plates that caught the overhead lights like living prisms. Their antennae swayed in calm ceremonial greeting. Harry walked in behind the human delegation, wearing a suit that did not quite fit and a deeply untrustworthy grin. The Vaelorian lead negotiator, Ambassador Zir, dipped its head politely. "Welcome, honored humans. May the scent of mutual prosperity fill our shared future." "Oh yeah," Harry said brightly. "It's about to get real aromatic in here." The doors sealed with a hiss. The negotiations began cordially enough. Zir released a gentle puff of golden pheromone, the Vaelorian equivalent of a friendly smile and warm handshake combined with mild hypnotic suggestion. The human negotiators felt nothing. Harry, seated in the back like a loaded weapon, cracked his knuckles. Showtime. He shifted in his chair. A low, ominous rumble echoed through the sealed chamber. The Vaelorians froze. Their antennae shot bolt upright. Zir blinked. "Is everything all right?" Harry gave a cheerful thumbs up. "Just warming up." Then he unleashed hell. Not a polite little puff, not a mild atmospheric disturbance. This was the stuff of legend. The reason his fraternity house once had to be evacuated and fumigated by hazardous materials teams. A weaponized cloud of doom rolled outward like a slow-moving fog of regret. The Vaelorians staggered. One clutched its thorax, another gagged. Zir's iridescence dimmed, like someone turned down the brightness on its biology. "What is that?" Zir coughed, recoiling as though struck. Harry leaned back, hands behind his head. "Counteroffer." 10 minutes in, the pheromone battle had become hilariously one-sided. The Vaelorians attempted to release counter-pheromones, sharp mint scents meant to reassert control. Harry answered with a blast so potent it should have come with a warning label and a small fire extinguisher. The alien team wilted like flowers hit with a heat ray. Zur panted, gasping through spasming scent receptors. Please, we request recess. Harry clucked his tongue. Can't. Your rule, remember? No one leaves until we sign a deal. He shifted again. A quiet pfft announced round 3. A Vaelorian collapsed sideways. At hour 2, the aliens abandoned all pretense of diplomacy. We concede planetary border terms, Zur wailed. Harry raised an eyebrow. And trade tariffs. And mutual scientific exchange. Harry sniffed, unnecessarily. Not hearing anything about warp-gate tech. Zur made a strangled noise like an accordion being stepped on. Fine, warp-gate schematics. Just please, cease the emissions. Harry nodded sagely. You know, I think another one's coming. No, please, we will sign anything. The human delegation, watching this with a mixture of awe and mild existential horror, slid the freshly drafted treaty across the table. It was outrageously favorable to Earth. Border realignments, trade concessions, long-restricted technologies, even the full research archives of Vaelorian biological advances. Zur shakily took the stylus, signed, and immediately scrambled toward the exit, antennae fluttering in panic. The doors opened, and the entire alien delegation stampede-bolted into the hallway, collapsing dramatically in front of several startled security officers. Fresh air had never tasted so good. Aftermath. The treaty was hailed across Earth as a triumph of human ingenuity and gastrointestinal fortitude. Reporters mobbed Harry for interviews. Scientists requested tissue samples. A minor religion briefly formed around him, worshipping the wind that liberated humanity. Ambassador Declan awarded Harry the Stellar Service Medal, though he presented it while standing upwind like a sensible man. Even the Vaelorians, after recovering from the traumatic olfactory event, sent a polite message. We respect your ingenuity. Please never do that again. Negotiations continued afterward, but the Vaelorians made sure all meetings were held via encrypted video call, preferably with the humans located outdoors. As for Harry, he returned home, resumed managing plumbing supplies, scratched his dog behind the ears, and occasionally chuckled when customers mentioned humanity's diplomatic resurgence. He never bragged. He never boasted. He simply lived his life knowing that when the galaxy tried to strong-arm Earth using evolutionary perfume, humanity countered with something far more powerful. A man, a mission, and a digestive tract of mass destruction. And in the annals of diplomatic history, the Treaty of Gasterity stood forever as proof of one eternal truth: never underestimate humans, especially not after taco night.